I'll introduce myself as Chelsea Austin, as Tommy said. And I'm a nutrition student at UT in Knoxville. And my county was in Knox County. Got a fun picture. And my mentor was Heather Kyle Harmon, who's a great educator and mentor and person in general. So it was absolutely a wonderful time. And so this is just a brief overview of my summer. We did a lot of educational classes that Heather teaches. We did a lot with New Harvest Farmers Market, which our office and David kind of started, so that was really neat. A lot with FNEP. My internship actually was supposed to be really focused with FNEP, so that was awesome. And then, of course, other experiences with Extension. So this summer, kind of with Heather's classes, kind of seemed like it was all for me, because this was the first introduction of canning that I actually ever had. I actually canned a little bit with my mother-in-law a few weeks before, but I was scared, like most of the other, people in public, just about canning, because you hear all these things. So Heather did two classes at UT Medical Center, just talking about canning. So like I said, it was a great introduction. It also kind of was my introduction to the community relationships that Extension agents form. She is in connection with the community development coordinator there, Beth LaFontaine, and so they kind of utilize each other's strengths and programs and things like that. So that was a great introduction to what all kind of goes on in Extension, because I didn't really know that much. So this was one of the first classes we also did at the UT Culinary Institute. So Knox County, they utilize this. So for the Institute and for Extension, kind of use this wonderful space right on campus. I actually looked into going to culinary school at Pellissippi one time, and they actually used this kitchen at UT. So I was really excited to be that. And instead of being a student, I was looked more like an expert, and so that was really interesting. So here they had actually someone came and lectured about how to grow herbs, and then Heather did the second part and talked about cooking with herbs and preserving herbs. So then we went into the kitchen and take really bad selfies, and kind of preserved. We made an herb vinegar, raspberry vinegar, made some goodies, made an herb cheese ball, and we made some basil tea and some blueberry basil dressing, which is really cool, really fun. And then this is one of the other canning classes, and you can see Kim, she's awesome and helped a lot, and went back into the kitchen. So there's a wonderful lecture part. Heather teaches all the science, and as you all would know, all the basics to it, and we made salsa. Like I said, people just ask me questions, and I, go find Heather if I don't know the answer, because I usually didn't know the answer. So for preservation 2, this is with pressure canners. We canned green beans and kind of prepared the green beans while Heather talked, which is really cool. I thought it was a neat thing to do while we were doing everything. And this is us in the kitchen. A lot of the same participants from the first canning class came to the second canning class, so that was really cool to see everyone again, and I really like talking to all the participants. Also, these classes kind of made me realize that a lot of people don't know how to cook, people even twice my age, and I've had 7 years of home cooking, and myself an avid, always in the kitchen, so I knew more than a lot of people, which was really interesting and could kind of teach people. And so that was kind of my first hand of actually kind of teaching a little bit, what's the best way to, seed a jalapeno and things like that. So it was really fun being in the kitchen. So another class, Heather was asked to come to Lord's Chapel in Knoxville and kind of talk about extension and what extension is, and also talk about nutrition. So she invited me along, and actually when I first started the internship, we were supposed to go to an FCE meeting, which actually got canceled, but Heather kind of showed me, this is what we usually talk about. If you want to make up your own thing, you can. So I kind of developed this little bingo game, and I was really sad that the FCE meeting got canceled because I wanted to do it, but we got to use it this time, and I went a little bit crazy with the laminating machine because I love it. But so I made this fun bingo game. I'll leave with them if they use it. But these are like my bingo cards, and so it's just Bingo Nutrition. The B stands for Be Active, and I stands for In the Kitchen, so just like basic kitchen tips. Nutrition was for the N, and that was nutrition facts, just everyday little things that would help people know what, they're kind of looking at. And then grocery tips for G, and then owe it to yourself, some kind of like inspirational, you got this kind of tips. So that was really fun. And they gave us lunch, and that was really sweet. So it was really fun. I love food. So this past week, this is another class that we did. And this is also this is with Beth from UT Medical Center, so this was also, that relationship, partnership that they do, and managing your diabetes. So this is a 6-week program that they're going to start, and I'm really sad this wasn't both of my internship, because I really like to see how everyone progresses. So I think that would be really cool to see all their action plans and stuff. So FNAP, for those of you that may not know, expanded food nutrition education program. This was kind of one of my focuses. And so there's 5 program assistants in Knox County. All of them are amazing, very helpful. They all have their own way of teaching. They have to go out, find their own classes, make their own, relationships. And so that was so interesting, and I really loved this portion of it. I couldn't get many pictures, we were at recovery centers and homeless shelters and things like that, so it was really hard to get any kind of experience, in photo, but this was another thing that I kind of came up with, and Clint came to see me do this class, and this was at one of the program assistant Kent's class at a recovery center, and I talked about 2 lessons, so building healthy plate, kind of utilizing and teaching about My Plate, which I love My Plate. I've loved My Plate since before Extension. I just love it. And then Eating Healthy in a Flash, talking about fast food. So I made these little visuals. As you can see, there's a vitamins and minerals sheet that Kent was handing out, and it talks about all the vitamins and minerals and what they do in the body. So I kind of wanted to make a visual as to, these are everything that you need in your body to function well. And then I kind of just, whole grains. Everybody tells you you need whole grains, and why do you need whole grains, really? So, just look at how many vitamins and minerals there are. So that was just kind of my visual, and Kent really loved them, so I'm going to give them to him so he can utilize them in his own classes after I leave. And so these were some of the sites visited. I went with each of them a few times, and it was just a really great experience. Lisa is one of the program assistants who does a lot of youth, and she is also really big into gardening, so we went and visited a lot of community gardens and all of her relationships. And I think the biggest thing I've learned about FNEP is how much need there is, especially in Knox County, in an urban setting. But how much also people are really acting to make things better and make change. So it was a really wonderful experience. So Newport Harvest Farmers Market, this was actually one of my favorite parts of the internship. So before Farmers Market Fresh kind of was starting their thing, we did our own recipes and kind of made flyers and things like that. So I was actually happy that it didn't start till recently, just so I could get in there and make some food. And I love being outside. This is me cooking in our awesome kitchen. And I also made the flyers, so it just kind of talk about why blueberries are good for you, what antioxidants are, and then we made a summer corn and blueberry salad, which was cool. Different than a blueberry pie or anything like that. And it was really good. And was gone before we knew it. So. And then we did one on eggplant another week. We're trying to get everyone to ingest more vegetables, and I think eggplant is one of those vegetables that you see at the farmer's market, and you're just like, I'll pass, but and not a lot of people know how to cook with it. So we made a baba ganoush, which is essentially like a roasted eggplant hummus. We had a great response. The only thing I'd ever cooked with eggplant before was an eggplant parmesan, and it wasn't very good. So this was one of my first attempts, but I think it came out well. We had a group of 9 kids from Children's Hospital kind of thing come over, and they all trying their eggplant and taking recipes home to mom, and if we have one kid that likes eggplant, that's success in my book. So other experiences, right off the bat, we went and, Alexis was my awesome cubicle buddy, and we had a lot of fun, and it was awesome to know another intern, and kind of compare our experiences. But we went to the agribusiness lunch, which was awesome. We got to eat ice cream, which is awesome, and hear Scotty Mayfield talk, and that was kind of we're all getting to know each other, meeting Neil, and getting to know Kim and Heather, and it was just great. So it was fun to sit in somebody's really pretty backyard and hang out. So Heather does a lot of TV, and so does Neil, of course, and they are pros at this, but she asked me to kind of do some research and look up things for when General Mills was, announced that they were transitioning to natural ingredients. So I was so excited. I love the news, and I was so excited to go to the news station and see how they all work, and they're all just naturals and they flow, and so it was really exciting. And then I came back and Heather's like, "Oh, you're going to be on TV next or tomorrow or whatever." So I kind of freaked out. There's a lot of people that are watching, but we did a great job, and it was fun because my family could see, they're all the way up in Connecticut, so I got to send them the link and they could see me on TV and see what I was actually doing with my summer. But we talked about flavoring your water, and I think it went really well. Then this was my 4-H experience. I didn't have as much as the other interns did, but we did craft camp at the Eastern Region office, and that was really fun, kind of something different. I think I like adult audiences better too. I just would connect with them better, but they're all awesome and we're really talented too. So, and this was also one of my favorite days. We ate a lot of food, so I was with Neil, David, and Alexis. It was like food day, I should have just said that. So we started off, we went to the Anderson County Fair, and we first stopped at this wonderful restaurant and ate a really wonderful meal, and I got a little judge thing, so I felt really honored and super part of it. And then we went and, David and I judged the 4-H vegetables, which I didn't even know there was such a thing before that day, and I didn't know how to do it, but David and we conquered, and it was really cool. Especially if there's all these kids are putting multiples, you just wonder how much time and effort they put into everything. It was just really sweet. And then I wish I had pictures. We went to the fruit and berry patch, which was amazing. Had slushies and barbecue and donuts, and it was so fun. So I'm a nutrition student, but I like donuts. Good for your soul. Anyway, so what did I learn? I learned about teaching. I'd never really had much education experience. And when I did that whole bingo thing, I was like, man, I'm talking a lot, but I guess that's what I'm supposed to be doing when you teach. So I'm usually the student, because I'm still in school. I'm the student to Heather and everyone else. So I learned that that's going to be another, challenge and things like that to do. I learned also that there's such a need for extension and people in government, and which it's amazing that, there's all these organizations and agencies. I learned a lot about canning. I can say that I'm confident in getting a pressure canner and can some vegetables, and I have a big old garden someday. I also learned about relationships and connections, and who you meet in the community really impacts what you do. And I went with David to a farmers market meeting and talking about with the Office on Aging and talking about SNAP benefits, and it was just cool how so many different places were being pulled to kind of go with one goal, and that was really neat to see that everyone can utilize each other. And I also learned about extension because I didn't know as much, so I learned how to explain what an extension is and what my internship was all about, and that was awesome. I also learned there's great people. Heather took us to lunch before my wedding, so these aren't just the only great people. We have Neil and David. I learned so it was so fun. Any questions?
You were not familiar with extension before you started. So tell me what your background, your educational background is, and where you're at Knoxville, right?
Yes.
So what's your educational degree in?
Nutrition. I still have one more year.
Okay, you have another year. What did you learn from your experience that you might apply to an extension job if you got an extension SES position in the future?
Relationships. Know people's names. Remember faces, and just, we're always doing something good. So
You sound very excited about your experience.
yeah, it's just so fun.
So is extension something that you have a interest in after you graduate?
Yes, I mean, I love the whole organization, and yeah, it's just, I love what you all do. So good job. Yeah, so, it's wonderful. It's impressive, actually, that there are so many great people out there, and you just don't know it sometimes. So,
Good job.
Thank you, Chelsea. And next, we're going to hear from Sarah McCarroll.
Even though you said your favorite day was Neil.
no, I said one of my favorite days.
No, you said my favorite. I recorded it. I'm gonna play it back.
You better know.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. It's my only real baby, so.
And he's all right.
Huh?
He's all right.
All right. Okay.